Good morning, fellow humans. Good morning, good people. Today is Friday, December 26, 2025. It's about 6 o'clock in the morning. This is Department of Career Services. My name is Edward Bevilacqua, and here we are at day 5 of week 4. So we're almost done. Today, tomorrow, and Sunday, and this 4-week course is over. Then we start over again. We start over on Monday. That's what we do, and every time we go through it, we learn a little bit more. And I say this as someone who has done it extensively for more than 10 years. All right, special note today, I have my new mug, a high-tech mug that automatically keeps the stuff warm or hot, depending, and I don't have to keep it on the charging stand, so I could take it with me and it will remain hot. Boom. But unfortunately right now, it's too hot. Nope, not too hot. This is from daughter number 1 of the new and improved. Not the originals, the new and improved. Daughter Catman Joe, Catherine. Okay, anyway, here we are. Friday, yesterday was Christmas Day. Today is the day after Christmas. What do they call that? Boxing Day or something like that? Here we are, fellow humans. And I spell that Huemonds, colorful nuts. And we have, 12 days before the show number 1, our TV show. Okay, but who cares about that? We are here today to focus on 3 of the 4 legs of this table to give us a successful life. During the week, we focus on physical, mental, and emotional skills. So we are solid, like a table, 4-legged table. Monday through Friday, we focus on 3 legs. Saturday and Sunday, we focus on 2 legs. No, 1 leg. Monday through, we'll get that in editing, right? Monday through Friday, focus on physical, mental, and emotional. Saturday and Sunday, we focus on the spiritual side. That's the most important one because that's where we will spend eternity. We have a breath in this life. The real thing is, oops. So now I got to do my new routine. So this, unfortunately, has olive oil in it. Olive oil, motor oil. The motor oil of the body. Olive oil. This has coconut oil. Okay, well, we have a very interesting show today because our advice from an 80-year-old, Seth Godin, and Darren Hardy are all talking about an interconnected thing. So the theme of today is our best work, which is from Seth Godin. Our best work is a function of excellence, Darren Hardy, times humility, which is the advice from an 80-year-old, times time. So our best work is the result of focusing on excellence, humility, and time. Except Darren Hardy says excellence is the next 3 minutes. But we'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. Right. Right, you are. Okay. Let's see. What else did I want to talk about? Important things happening out there in the world today. Well, maybe it'll come to me. So, advice from an 80-year-old. Let's just get into that directly. Be modest. A lot was accomplished before you were born. Right. How true. That reminds me of something Mark Twain said about the paint on the top of the ball that's at the top of the Eiffel Tower. And again, just paraphrasing it, something like, the paint at the top of the Eiffel Tower thinks that the Eiffel Tower was built for it, so that it could be at the very top of the thing. Whereas, no, that's just a functional thing to have the top, that whole ball painted. Eiffel Tower was not made for the ball that's on the top, and it certainly wasn't made for the paint on the ball that was at the top. It's the whole thing. And so Mark Twain, or the way I take it, or what it means to me, the Mark Twain thing is, to have humility. Other people came along before, or Isaac Newton. If I've been able to see further, it's because I'm standing on the shoulders of giants. Okay, I learn from other people. Other people, key thing. Okay, so we start with that. Start with advice from an 80-year-old. Be modest. A lot was accomplished before you were born. Okay, good. Now let's go to Seth Godin. Your best work, Feels So Good, and Chuck E's In Love were mega hits. They transformed the careers of their creators. But any fan of Mangione or Jones will tell you that it's far from their best work, not even close, and yet that's what the crowds came to hear. In a long tail world filled with browsing, it's easy to confuse popular with great. It's more productive to aim for great. Huh. Interesting. Okay. So your best work isn't necessarily, or it's probably not the most popular work. Next. Okay, so we've got humility. Be humble. A lot was accomplished before you were born. Be modest. We have our best work is not their most popular work. So again, that would be modesty, humility, not getting carried away with ourselves. And then Darren Hardy's very quick short talk today, the tiny habit that separates serious achievers. And the focus is on excellence. Excellence. So what does he say? He says, focus on the next 3 minutes. And I forgot something here. Let's see if there's something from Daily Stoic. See what his thing is for today. There we go. Much toil remains. Nobody became great without putting the effort into it. Okay, so let's deal with that. I'm going to say toil and strife. Okay, voila. There we go. So that's been added. So that's 4 things now focused on this idea of excellence, becoming your best, doing your best. It's a worthy cause, a worthy goal, not to be mediocre. Novum-u, our school, back in the day, which is still, right? Anyway, novum, some of the ways we broke it up were no, N-O, like the circle with the line through it, no, the circle with the line through it means no, and in there is the letter vum, no vum. What is vum? Volatility, uncertainty, mediocrity. No volatility, no uncertainty, no mediocrity. Striving to be the best we can, striving for excellence. And Darren Hardy says, just focus on the next 3 minutes. Focus on the next 3 minutes. Daily Stoic, Ryan Holiday says, toil and strife. Toil and strife. And our 80-year-old said, remember, be modest. A lot was accomplished before we were born. So have that in mind. Put in the time. Focus on doing the best we can. Boom, that's it. Would that be another mic drop? Oops. Yes, that is a mic drop. Okay, cool. All righty then. How do we apply that? Maybe we can talk about how we apply that to this. Okay, kind of sum up the week. So this week we talked about leadership. And leadership is the polite way of saying power. And power is just the not sugar-coated way of saying getting people to do what you want. If you have power, the more power you have, the more people you can get to do what you want. Does Elon Musk have a lot of power? Yes. The most wealthiest people in the world have the most power. They get people to do stuff. Like what? Like buy their stuff. Enter contracts with them. They get people to do stuff for them. Jeff Bezos, well, we're not going to break down into particular people, but power is getting people to do what you want. That's just the no frills, non-sugar coated way of saying it. In business, it's called management. Management is about getting other people to do what you want. And what do you want? Well, you want your company to make a profit. You want it to do good things for people. You want it to do this, that. Management is getting people to do what you want. Not what they want, what you want. And in a larger context, it would be Yuval Harari with the goal of large numbers of people cooperating flexibly. Okay? That's the goal. That's the ultimate goal. To be successful, you have to have power. You won't have money. You can have meaning access that everything you do matters, but it's not really going to matter. And if you don't have service to others. Other what? People. Okay, so what we learned this week is that's the goal. That's how we become successful, is power. Power, though, or the lives of people, if you're the one who's getting people to do what you want, you have to remember some days are going to be good, some days are going to be bad. Some days are going to be really good, some days are going to be really bad. There is a wave function, good and bad, right? I'll go this way. We want the wave to always be moving up in an upward direction towards heaven, the kingdom of heaven. We want the wave function to be moving forward. So what we did this week is we deconstructed that. We took not only the bad, the really bad, the crisis stuff, and we looked at that through Nancy Kane, Harvard Business School professor. Then we went to the other side and we looked at perfect. So we looked at Marcus Aurelius, the emperor of the world, who happened to write a book, his personal diary. Well, he kept a diary. He instructed his aides, his secretaries, his assistants to burn it after he was dead. They read it and they said, "Oh, no way, this is too important." And they kept it. And the document has been around, and there's not really a question of its authenticity. So, crisis, perfect. And then we ended up in the middle, because some days you're going to have a crisis, very few days. Some days are going to be bad. Some days are going to be perfect. Someday more than that will be good. But most days will be in between crisis and perfect. That's where we spent a few days learning about Loyola, because he's the guy that went through it. So he had traveled this path that we are on. So we learned lessons from him, just like with Nancy Kane. We learned lessons in dealing with crisis about Lincoln and Shackleton. On perfection, we learned lessons in perfection about Marcus Aurelius and Stoicism. So we want to start with the idea of we can't be successful without getting people to do what we want. We might be comfortable. We might have no stress. But under our definition of success, which is success is a function of money times meaning and purpose. The more money you do meaningful things that matter in service to others, the more money you throw at that, the more successful you're going to be. Having money, and then on our big picture trajectory, if you spent your life doing things that matter, helping lots of people, you are following Jesus's 3 commandments: loving God with all your heart, mind, and soul, loving one another, and making disciples of all people. So you're doing the things that Jesus commanded, and we should have a reasonable expectation that he will keep his promise that we can be one with the Father and him, which is spirit. So our life is about transformation. So how do we get other people to do what we want was the thing of today. And the first part of that was to get some days are going to be better than other days. Here are the tools for the bad days. Here are the tools for the good days. Keep focused on the goal. And so we learned a bunch of hacks, 10 things from Nancy Kane, and the book, The Meditations of Marcus Aurelius, for Stoicism. How do we know Stoicism is valid? Well, we can apply the categorical imperative test that we learned last week to it, which is act such that, imagine that what you want to do is a law and then everybody had to do it. So let's talk about marijuana. Do I want to smoke marijuana? Well, if it was a law and everybody had to smoke marijuana, would the world be a better place? Now, some people can say yes. Most people, upon thinking about it, would say no, it really wouldn't be good if everybody smoked pot. We would not have Silicon Valley. We would not have workaholic type people that were willing to fight, competition to the death. I'm going to wipe you out. And be like, no, man, chill. It's no big deal. And so we would not be here today. Now, Stoicism does pass the categorical imperative test if you say Stoicism breaks down to moral virtue is enough. Just do the right thing at the right time, in the right way, for the right reason. If that's what you do, and the idea would be, okay, so if that was the law, that everybody had to do those 4 things, do the right thing, the right way, right reason, and the right thing, the right time, for the right reason, in the right way. If you did those things, anything you did met those things, if everybody did that, would the world be a better place? And the answer is yes. Okay, so we're out of time, but this is the final week. We're going to go through those 2 things again because we have 2 more days. And get that the focus of the whole class, who am I, why do I behave the way I do, should all be getting me moving forward to be successful, to have money, to do things that matter in the service of other people. And that is it. That's all I have to say about that. So cut and cut.